Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Secrets of the Viz. Today we have Adrian
Hello.
with us to share a little bit on how he created the follower stats. So over to you, Adrian.
Hello, my name is Adrian Zinovei. I'm a Tableau visionary, ambassador. I'm working with Tableau more than 10 years. All my life I was in business intelligence, so I was building reports and doing analysis and so on. I used to have a really good Tableau public portfolio, but at some point you just realize a good portfolio, it's like 80% of your resume, and it's good for social media as well because people start recognizing you and so on. And of course, we are analysts in mind, so I want to track all my activity. I want to track my people who's next to me. I want to track who's behind me, who's in front of me. And yeah, that's kind of how I was trying to keep myself in shape. So this was the dashboard built by Ludovic Tavernier. I think he was refreshing one every month, and I was looking at the dashboard, and I have 1,300 favorites. Now it's double than that, and it's not a competition, but it's more like, oh, let me guess what people want. So it's more like a game. I'm always like making fun that Tableau, it's a hobby for me, and people are laughing, but in fact, it's still a job as well, you know. So people, it's kind of like a dream job. So yeah, in my understanding, is using two data sets. You have previous situation, and you see like 20 to 24 of January versus 27 of December. And it's really slow. So I want something fast. I was like, okay, let me build it on my own. And I think like the first question was like, where should I get this information? Of course, I was just searching about, from the internet. I think this one is the Tableau public API. So this is Will Sutton, yeah. All this information about the profile, workbooks, followers, and so on. But the biggest challenge was for me, how can I get like first 1,000 people from the Tableau public? When I was building the API to retrieve the data, if you have 1,000 users, you could take a half a second for one user. So it's going to be like 500 seconds or even more for 1,000. If you got 10,000 or 50,000 people, so that's going to take like forever. And I was like, okay, let me try to build for a smaller amount. I was trying to get like my followers at some point, and so this actually was a revelation for me. I don't want to go taking somebody like Kevin or Ken's followers and get the information by them. Everyone's going to say, I don't want to be on your report. So if they don't want to be in that report, they just can unfollow me on Tableau Public, and that's it. And when I start doing that, I've got some issues with the data. The problem was user who doesn't have any dashboards or not having any followers or not following anyone, or that they don't have any favorites. It's null, and I need to raise the bar. I'm gonna get those people who's having at least 10 followers, because from my observation, it's much easier to get clean data of users who are active, more or less. So how I did this API collection, I'm just retrieving all the followers. Yeah, you can get the following people. You can get, I think it's the country, state, the profile, and you can see the avatar URL, the URL for the picture. The problem here is that when you retrieve, you get only 24 followers at a time. So imagine I need to write a code just to get all my 3,000 followers by 24 batches. So that's the idea. From the analytical point of view, people are usually used to some type of visuals. And when you're giving something better, you want to keep in mind and keep something that was used before. We'll just improve it a little bit.
That's a very good point, because like even when you're building dashboards for business, people don't like change, especially if it's a dashboard that they've been using for some time.
Yeah, so the trick is just give them what they're used to, just a little bit of improvement, but outside of that, you just start doing something more. Yeah. It's nothing like fancy here as well. See, the idea is to check what's going on with the views and what's going on. For example, like Cedric, he's got almost all his favorites in this last period. He's building dashboards, he's putting all this followers, he's gaining a lot, and that's really cool. Or even like thousands of people, if they click on a dashboard, they go down, they see Pradeep's dashboard, and you can see 0 dashboards in the past 1 month, but he gained 2,500 for favorites. His dashboard's having tons of favorites, and it's recommended now to everyone. Again, you see, we're doing the analysis.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing with Tableau. So you can check the numbers and you can check all these things, and you can sort them and so on. Some people, this is helping them, because if you know where you are in space and time, it's much better, you know. So what I did, I'm just going to Kaggle. I'm going to show what's a bit. This is the Python code. So I import stuff, defining the functions and so on. So you can see all the small snippets, how it's working here, like favorites, followers, and how these things are defined here. I think one of the issues is that once I'm getting all the followers, I'm not following myself. So I have to know what's my username. I have to extract all this information again, exactly how it's done for all of them. The biggest thing is that I could run everything here in Kaggle. So if you click on this one and hit edit, and you can see it's 109. So it means that I run this notebook for 109 times. Right now it's taking like around 14, 15 minutes to retrieve all the data. And I can run it and see it's right here. You can see like input, output, all those things. You can put some things that it's going to run faster, but it's not about the speed because this thing is connected through internet. So you can just retrieve all these things. I have the output here. And I was like, oh, come on, this is Python. And I was like, how I can benefit from this one as well? This is just 3 small functions. And it's adding the rank for that day. So if, for example, I'm extracting all the data, all the people. So it's doing a rank for that, the number of followers, number of favorites, and number of views. Okay, this is the CSV file. And I'm putting the name in the file. What I'm doing here is just copy and pasting here. I think like it's 90 files right now. So I'm just using this wildcard import all the files from a folder. This is the dashboard itself. Right now, there's 10 pictures here. It should start looking for them and loading into the memory. It's better when you have these pages because you go to another page and it will load another set of these things. And it's going to be quite fast.
This is amazing. Like you said, the whole Tableau public space is also about gamifying it because you can't improve what you don't know about yourself. So you know that specific this is giving more views. That possibly could mean that the community is looking for something along a theme. Everyone has to find their own niche. Whenever people think of dashboards, they go to predict profile. If people are looking for something more artistic, they might go to somebody like Wendy or George. So there's a lot of different people with very specific skills, and you just gotta find your niche. And this tool allows you to understand what works for you and what doesn't. And I think it's really amazing. Thank you, Adrian, for walking us through this amazing dashboard. If you want to learn more, you can refer to Will's GitHub documentation on how you can use Tableau Public's API to pull certain information, and we hope to see something created by the community soon. So I'll see you next week. Thank you.
I think it's this one. So this one was done for Kaggle, so 2019. These are the games we're playing. But the thing is, imagine that you have a huge CSV data and you have this team play with this team, this was the score, this was the game, this was the user, this user position on a map, and you have for each game thousands of rows of data and all these movements, how they move their head, their angles, and so on. And I was trying to accommodate this because I want to see who's playing with whom. For example, you have Miami Dolphins who played in that game for Buffalo Bills, and this is the game that's selected. But also you can see the players on the map. This is the scrimmage line, and everything is moving on the map. The helmet is moving and turning their head as well. And if you click on a specific guy, you go to their NFL page, and it's still there.
Wow.
2018. So
There's
you see
a lot
like
of information in this dashboard.
Oh yeah. They're just moving here and there. And there's things like what's the wind speed, what's the temperature, what's the outdoor, indoor, what kind of natural gas or other things. So I published and shared with those guys from Kaggle, and they were so happy. They were like, I'm looking at some numbers and I don't really understand how they're playing. And they were missing the visualization side. But when they're here, oh my God, and this is also like the interaction you can. And this is like how many passes during that game. You can see like it's changing the colors, so on. So
Oh, that's really cool.
okay.
All right, so that's all we have for today.